Geography and You presents.
In today's GNY Live podcast, we are very honored to have with us Dr. M Ravichandran, the Secretary to the Government of India for the Ministry of Earth Sciences. As many of you are aware, Dr. M Ravichandran has a career that spans all the three domains from atmosphere. So he's worked in atmosphere, he's worked in ocean sciences, and he's also worked on solid earth. And the last assignment he had before he became the Secretary of Earth Sciences was with NCPOR, which was for polar, the cryospheric part of the work that the scientific ministries do. But today we are going to talk about something quite exciting. We're going to talk about Matsya 6000, that the dome, the titanium dome that's going to go 6,000 meters underwater. Recently, you must have seen the news where there has been a test run with Nautile in France, with three aquanauts, they are called. Unlike astronauts, they go under the water and see what maybe things that human eyes have not seen in the Indian Ocean. So that is the conception, that is the idea. We are very happy to have you with us, Dr. Ravichandran.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I am also equally delighted to be here.
So before our discussion today, so we would just like to talk a little bit about where did this idea really emanate from? This idea of having something like Matsya, having even the blue economy idea. So where is this overarching framework coming from? If you can just give us a sense.
Okay, so I think everybody is looking for Viksit Bharat 2047. So Ministry of Earth Sciences per se, what do you want to contribute? So we thought about it. So one of the umbrella is blue economy. Under the blue economy, what you want to do, what you want to deliver for the Viksit Bharat. So that's what we look at it. So for that, we want to have a harnessing ocean resources sustainably, as well as we want to try to mitigate various hazards emanating from the ocean, as well as various technological elements we want to, especially underwater technology, we want to develop. That's what we want to do. For that, we make one of the pilot project of blue economy is a deep ocean mission. Under the deep ocean mission, we want to have develop various technologies for ocean harnessing. So under that, one of the thing is basically Matsya 6000. Basically, we want to go 3 human beings up to 6,000 meter depth and to explore what is the resource availability, and not only resource but also science and sustainability.
Okay. Now, if we say that, Matsya is just a component of this entire frame, in your view, because also blue economy is part of this. So in your view, what would development mean? Because 2047 is quite close, if I may say.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself, like as Viksit, you said, developed,
Yes.
you said.
Yes.
So what is that development that?
So in our view is now presently the blue economy contribute to the national GDP roughly about 4%. How this 4% we can make it to double, or how we can make it to 10%. That is what our objective. For example, now for fisheries, now it's provided roughly about 1%. How we can make it 2%? What are the new technologies or what are the resources? Similarly, whether we can have harnessing ocean renewable energy from the ocean. So all these aspects we have estimated. That is why we want to contribute from the blue component of the national GDP. That is what we started.
Okay. So now we will move back and forth. So now just coming back to Matsya again. So Matsya is like, when will it dive? So that's a very exciting proposition. We all are very excited to know about this idea. So 3 people, bottom of the ocean.
Correct.
So And if I may, the average ocean depth is around 3,000 to 4,000 meters. This goes down to 6,000 meters. So, so when are we going to do this?
Yeah. So why it is 6,000 is basically because in Indian Ocean, deepest depth is 6,000 meter.
Okay.
That's why we want to deepest Indian Ocean. In Pacific, maybe 10,000.
Oh.
But in Indian Ocean, 6,000. So we want to restrict our things, initially start with 6,000. Now, when we are going to dive, so actually, you may remember that 2 years or 3 years back when Government of India announced Gaganyaan. So one crew will go to the space. 3-member crew or 4-member crew will go to space. And opposite direction, another 3-member crew will go dive to the deepest ocean. So we want to explore both space as well as in the ocean. We want to contribute. So when we will go, as of now, the Matsya 6000 is ready for dive. Only one component is pending, mainly because we want to, it is roughly about 25 ton. We don't have a capacity of crane to lower this 25,000 crane. So we are building that in the ship on board. Once it is developed, we can go. Presently, we are not going directly to 6,000. We are going first, maybe by 26 April, before April, we will go for 500 meter.
Okay.
And second one, next year, in 2027 April, we will go for 6,000.
Okay. So it will be a stagger.
Two
but
phases.
We've already got an experience with Nautile.
That is only now, for example, when you have a new car, you have to drive. So for before diving to our Matsya, we send our aquanauts to French group so that they can dive below and see how they can experience, how fast they can go, how slow they can come back, or how they can migrate from one place to another place underwater. So these are all they are trying to experience. That's what they went there.
So tell us some first-hand information, like first-hand, I'm sure these scientists must have come and met you as well, the people who went to Nautile.
Yes.
So anything that, they've said that stuck with you and it's like exciting that you're really looking forward to?
Yes. So initially our design, basically we have done with the digital twin. When we make it this, how fast it has to go, how slow it has to go, all these things we have programmed in such a way. It has to go roughly about, assume that 0.8 meter per second like that. Some speed it has to go. And that is the maximum speed possible and other thing we thought. But now after experience, I think when emergency or anything comes, how to come very fast, that also we have made it that means we have understood now it is possible to go different speed. So how to make that different speed, that we have learned now new things from there. There are many small nuances. Suppose if oxygen is cut off, how do we do that? And similarly, only cylinder or anything redundancy. So like that, various things, small things they are trying to learn from this experience. But definitely we are going for another dive. Maybe 2 more because of other people also we need to, it is not only 2 people, other 2 people also has to be experienced. So that now all these collective experience, then we put it into place in our developing our Matsya.
Okay, so more people will gain experience. Okay. So continuing, so that's good to know that so many people, more and more people will learn about the Matsya experience. But what does the Matsya, what is it that we are envisaging Matsya is going to do? Is it going to explore? And if it is going to explore, where? What are we looking for?
Yeah. See, now there is an autonomous underwater vehicle, AUV, that can go and explore various resources, what is available and other thing. But Matsya is, as a human being, dive and see what is happening there. That is a millions of knowledge you will get it. Okay. That means new knowledge. It is not that when you are using AUV and other thing, you have target oriented. That means whether mineral resources is there or not, yes and no, it will come. But as a human being goes, it is not only mineral resources, how the life living there, what are the resources living as well as non-living, and what is the natural things. It is a mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It is not that one camera, one photograph as well as you are going to see. as well as why you are going tourist to different places. You want to see what all things are happening. It is not simple photograph. So AUV will give you photograph, but a human mind to see and explore what is happening, that it is a treasure of knowledge of this
different
information.
kind of knowledge that we'll experience. So in Nautile, we've got a collaboration with France.
Yes.
So who are for Matsya and of course for Samudrayan, is there a collaborative framework that the Ministry of Earth Sciences has developed?
Yes.
Like I read somewhere Costa Rica was also part of this, or is it some other
No. Actually,
blue
this
economy?
No. Basically, this underwater diving, especially submersible, there are only 5 countries mastered: US, France, Japan, Russia, and China.
Okay.
Only these 5 people can dive as of now. If we join in that club, we are the 6th country. Now, having said that, when we try to ask for collaboration and other things, this underwater, not many countries try to collaborate. So luckily, at least finally, France has agreed at least to take us on board, whereas other countries refused.
Oh.
That is number one. Second thing is, Russia is ready to help in some aspect, especially when we want to make a titanium sphere for Matsya 6,000 meter, that we need to test. Because without manpower, the sphere alone has to go and test up to 6,000 meter depth. That means 600 bar it has to withstand. Okay. That testing place is only available in Russia. So now they have agreed to test for us. So these are the 2 countries, especially France for diving experience, and for testing, Russia, we are collaborating. Other countries, we are not able to collaborate because underwater is most of the underwater things. It has become very, they don't want to share easily. And also we have developed with some help from some other country, we have developed underwater acoustics. That means underwater communication. How we can communicate within the ocean, how we can do that, or also we have done that.
Okay. So again, we'll move back again to 2047, and we want to come back again to tell us that Earth Sciences, you said like blue economy is thing, then you have Samudrayan, and then you have Matsya. What are the other things that will help initiatives like Matsya under the Viksit Bharat framework?
So, as I mentioned that in Ministry of Earth Sciences, how we can contribute. One is blue economy. That means how we can contribute to blue growth, to the national GDP. Yeah. Another one is we have also having atmospheric science, where we want to improve the meteorology weather forecast. In there, we want to go from weather forecast to weather management. What it means is, now weather is managing us. Whether we can manage weather, that is what we are looking at it. For that, what are the infrastructure required? What are the new sciences required? What are the new technologies required? That we are working on it. For that also, we have made another pilot project of that is called Mission MoES. Under the Mission MoES, we want to populate hundreds of radar all over India. And also we want to have wind profiler, and also we want to go for HPC, high performance computing system, and also we want to hire aircraft to simulate various kind of weather intervention. Suppose somewhere it is happening hailstorm. Can you suppress the hailstorm by weather intervention? Or somewhere it is rain is happening, can you suppress the rain or to enhance the rain? So these are all part of weather management which we are looking at it. So in 2047, we want to be a leader in weather management. So that is what we are working at in another dimension. And third dimension under solid earth, we are also working on it, earthquake. As of now, we don't have any prediction in earthquake. So there is no science on earthquake prediction. So, but at the same time, we can always do some sort of early earthquake warning, considering the primary wave as well as secondary wave of earthquake, seismic signal. Can we forecast at least few seconds before earthquake, when it is secondary wave comes, the damage wave comes, before that whether we can forecast or not? It is possible. So that we are working at, because for that we need to have more and more seismometers, more and more technology, more and more modeling, more and more AML, other techniques. So that is the third dimension we are looking for earthquake. And the fourth dimension is we want to be a global leader in polar science. Because in 2047, interestingly, the polar dimension will be changing rapidly. Arctic, there will be no summer sea ice. In Antarctic, there is a revisit of Antarctic Treaty. In Himalaya, the glaciers are depleting, where 2 billion people are depending on the Himalayan rivers. So all these things in 2040s will be a high pressure in polar region. That time, what is India has to do? What is Indian narrative in polar science? For that, we are building a Indian narrative in polar affairs. So we have to augment in terms of science, because our vehicle is for building any narrative science diplomacy. So that is we are trying to do for that what we need to do India in 2047.
Okay, so now from a little bit of what you said initially, I want to ask about what are the indigenous things we have developed? Like, for example, weather, you said, managing our weather.
Yes.
Then you're talking about polar, which is very, very close to my heart. So in that, do we have specific technologies we're looking at? For example, GLOF. Is there a specific technology we're looking at, or landslide? I don't know. You can perhaps tell our audience whether we have any particular things we're looking at right now or imagining, which is not really like Matsya is one of them.
Yeah.
And you have many other which you are planning.
Yeah, actually, technology is very important. But not only technology, but also science is all equally important. So we are going for all four pronged approach in all directions. One is technology for observing the system.
Okay.
And number two is understanding the system in terms of science, and whatever you understand, how to put it into model so that for prediction. Yeah. In all four spheres, whether it is atmosphere, hydrosphere, cryosphere or geosphere, all these four spheres we are going for observe, understand, model, predict. Finally, we want to do science, translate that science for the benefit of society. So that is what our main objective in that Viksit Bharat.
Yeah. So my final question to you is, if we can just talk about because most of what Earth Sciences is working on generates a lot of data. So if we can have some kind of an open data policy, will we have, especially where Himalayas are concerned, oceans are concerned. So we have a lot of, like even when you said we'll have new data when Matsya goes down, it does a deep dive, then we'll have lots of new things coming up, which has never been seen or heard before. So what is going to happen to these outputs? Are we sharing them? Do we have an open data policy?
So we have already placed an open data policy. It is Earth System Science Data Portal. Okay. We have already built. But this is now presently a system of system. But we want to make one centralized system we are building on it. Now, for example, ocean alone, there is a very good data. You name it any location, any time, what parameter, we have a 5-dimensional data sets.
Okay.
5 dimension means X, Y, Z, 3 dimension. Another dimension is time. And 5th dimension is a parameter. Temperature, humidity, salinity, like that. So we are making it for a digital twin of Earth. That is our next 5-year goal. So that all this data will be available in digital twin. Not only ocean, but also atmosphere, but also in the polar region and for solid Earth. So we will be making it available, open data policy. Yes, some data will be restricting, especially in our territorial waters, underwater things we will restrict, whereas all other things are open to public.
Okay, so that's great, because that would mean that a lot of universities will benefit from doing research out of that data. So that brings me to the kind of final question to you about your vision for Ministry of Earth Sciences. We have seen the path of Earth Sciences from the Department of Ocean Development to being what now is a very huge ministry with a lot of impact on different walks of life. And like you said, science for people, we see the impact almost in every sphere. So in your view, you have been part of this journey, you're in this journey right now. What is it that is shining, and in your view, that Earth Sciences stands out? Of course, it has many things, but Matsya 6000 is one, Polar is one. There are many things. But what in your view is that one thing that makes it a unique sojourn for you?
Yeah, I personally feel that the weather forecast has improved dramatically.
Okay.
See, tropical weather forecasting prediction is very tough when compared to mid-latitudes. But we are able to tell now many of the weather forecasts, especially cyclone or even heavy rainfall, we are able to do much better. Having said that, we have a lot more to do. For example, presently we don't have a mechanism to forecast cloudburst a few days ahead. Can we do it? That is our challenge. So that is what we want to do, because nowadays in hilly terrain, more and more cloudburst, which we need to forecast well in advance. So that we are working on it. But otherwise, globally, weather forecast, we have simply superb than anybody else.
Okay, that is wonderful and very nice to hear, sir. That brings us to the end of the conversation today, and I'm hoping we'll have you quickly for Matsya again in the following days when it actually does its 500-meter dive, and for other things about weather, cloud seeding. We've done one thing on cloud seeding with Dr. Tara.
Yes.
So
that is what weather intervention. Basically, that is the thing. Now she is going to build a world tallest cloud chamber.
Okay.
So that is to be in Pune. That is what we are planning to have weather intervention. We are making artificially cloud. Then we try to seed and not to seed, all this intervention exercise. We are planning to do that.
Wonderful. Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me here.
That brings us to the end of today's episode. It was very insightful, sir. We got a view of so many more things than we actually envisaged. But I do want to take you on further on this, especially the idea about weather. That seems like a very promising area to understand further. And hope to see you soon, sir. Thank you so much.